Hi, this is Melissa at Fork Mtn Quilting, and today I'm going to show you how to make this simple cinch bag with maybe an orphan block. We are in the middle of a regional shop hop, and what we do for our regional shop hop is we give out patterns for blocks, and we all participate in creating blocks. So these are just a couple of the blocks that we have, so I'm calling these our orphan blocks. And what we always try to do is come up with something to do with all the blocks. And I'm thinking, you know what? What better way, since we're Christmas in July shop hop, what better way than to make a gift that you could give for Christmas? So this is a cinch bag that we're going to make with our blocks that we're using for our regional shop hop. So let me go over the supply list. So it's really easy. Here's the supplies that you need. You need an orphan block, and it happens to be that mine is a 12.5 unfinished. You'll need a backing for that bag, so just like this will be your backing. And then you'll need an interior for your bag, which is the inside. All of these need to be the same size. So whatever you start off with, as far as your block, you need to make sure that your back and your interior is all the same size. And then you'll also need something to run your ribbon through here at the top. So some kind of decorative fabric as well. And what I decided to do is I just used some of my backing fabric because it looked good with my front of my bag. And this is a 2-inch strip, and it's also the size of my bag, the length of my block. So all you have to do, we're going to start off with that, is you're going to fold it in half. But you're also going to fold the ends down so that you can hide all of those raw edges for the top. So our next step would be, we're going to do some sewing. So let's go over to the sewing machine. All right, so here we are at the sewing machine. So the very first thing I want to do, we talked about the top of the bag where you cinch it. I want to go ahead and sew down, just top stitch this piece right here, just so that when you're putting the ribbon through, it doesn't get caught. So let's do that on all sides. All right, now, so since we got these sewed down, the next thing you want to do is you want to attach these to your front of your bag and the back of your bag. And you're going to attach these at the top. You can pin them in place. I just kind of eyeball it. And you just want to have a little bit of room on each side of it. So I'm going to go ahead and top stitch with the raw edge to the raw edge of the back and the front. This is the front, same thing, raw edge to raw edge. And you're going to do it at the top. So I forgot to tell you, you do need to quilt the top, your front of your bag. So your orphan block, I just added some fusible fleece to it. And I just did some straight stitching along the edges just to hold it in place to kind of give it a quilted look. Next step you're going to do is you're going to take the backing, or I'm sorry, the lining of your bag, and you're going to attach it to the same spot that you just sewed the drawstring holder. And you're going to sew across the raw edges of that on both the front and the back. All right, so I've sewed my lining to both the front and the back of my bag. As you can see, I still have my little drawstring loop here. So what you're going to do now is you're going to layer these together. You're going to put right sides to right sides, just like this. And what I like to do is I'm going to make sure that my seam here in the middle all matches up. And I'm going to pin it here. on both sides. All right, so what you're going to do now is you're going to sew around all the way around the whole pieces here, but you're going to leave your opening here about this much so that you can turn it inside out. So I'm going to start right here where I want my opening, and then I'm going to sew all the way around all four sides. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my corners and I'm just going to kind of trim them off because we're going to turn this inside out, and it just makes it a little bit less bulky right there at each one of them. Just don't snip your fabric that you just sewed. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this inside out. All right, which is really important if you have a bone folder or some kind of instrument that you can use to really get these corners out. You want to go ahead and use that. Just make sure you don't use scissors because then you'll poke through your fabric and it'll mess it up. And it's also a good time to check to make sure you got all your seams and make sure you didn't miss any. So that one's good. We got this side. All right, so if you notice, it kind of looks like this. So now what we need to do is we need to close up the inside of our bag before we tuck it back in. So the only thing I did is you just want to fold it in where there's no raw seams, and then I'm going to stitch right over top of that. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to tuck it inside of our bag, and we're almost done. You're just going to nice and tuck it in here and push it back into the corners where you have it. And then what I like to do is I like to top stitch where we put the drawstring down at. So you want to kind of make sure that this is all pushed down. You can take it to the ironing board and iron it down just a little bit so it's out of the way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch along the bag part and not where the little loop is for the drawstring, so that I have plenty of room to get that ribbon through there. So we're going to sew all the way around the top of this. So let's get started. So now that we're done sewing, I'd like to thank Emily. This is her block that she used from Threads Run Through It for our regional shop pop. So now what we got to do to finish this off is we need to put the ribbon in. And the way that we do that is, I know people really dread sometimes having to take the safety pin and clipping it on the end of your ribbon and then pushing it through. Well, there's this really cool tool. It's called a Bodkin. And the way it works is it has little teeth on it, and you can clamp down on your ribbon. This can be used for ribbon, or maybe you want to make your own strapping. And so this helps you kind of push it through. So anything that you got to push elastic through or anything like that, this works perfectly. So if you notice, this is nice and flexible. It's a pretty small size. And so all you have to do is you're just going to push it through whatever you need to feed it through your tube here. And then, so it pulls the ribbon through for you. Ta-da! And then we're going to do the other side as well. We're just not going to cut it yet. And you can do this ribbon, you can do it really thick. You can use fabric, whatever you want to use for your ribbon is perfectly fine. But as you can see, by using this bodkin, it just makes it so much easier to do, and you don't have to worry about trying to feed a safety pin or whatever through. And it works with elastic, just all kinds of stuff. And so then now you can see we got our little cinch bag here, and it's ready to be filled with all of our great Christmas gifts. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial with Fork Mtn Quilting. Again, my name is Melissa, and as we say here, do what makes your heart happy.